The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least that was the plan. Except now the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want your connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
I'm going to drink 500 ml of orange slice C4.
Can you stop, please? He's going to vomit.
Oh my God, your face is turning a different colour. Oh! Oh!
It's going up my nose.
Kia ora koutou, welcome to The Real Pod. It feels like an age. My name's Jane Yee. I'm joined by Duncan Greive, Alex Casey. We are all in the studio together for the great reunion. Welcome back to it.
Duncan, are you going to vomit?
I'm worried. I think I've got C4 coming out of my eyes and my nose.
Been there. Duncan's just chugged 500 ml of fizzy, like effervescent, like bubbly energy drink.
Yeah, it's like a sort of a professional athlete caliber. This is what Dan Carter would drink before he kicks the winning try for the All Blacks. That sort of thing.
Oh, don't kick a try. You don't kick a try, do you? Do you hold on
man.
to this?
I don't know much anymore.
Wow.
I'm just having a cup of tea. It's nice to be here.
I've just got a regular-sized Red Bull and I'm feeling very inadequate. Hey, listen, it's a really exciting time. It probably feels exactly the same as it's always been, but we actually have big news. The biggest news. We think we've nailed it. After an 8-year trial of the podcast.
We've been in beta.
We're ready to launch proper, and here it is. So this that you're hearing now, the regular Real Pod, the TV recaps, the pop culture news, the real life chats, all of this is still going to be available to you, but you just have to pay for it. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit.
It's a weird thing for us to be really excited about changing the financial model, but something had to give.
Look, I tell you what though, it's all part of a very exciting thing that's happening, which is we are on Substack as of right now. You can go to our Substack. It's called The Real Pod Extra, and you can go there at therealpod.substack.com. There's going to be lots of free content, I should say. There's going to be lots of free content for everyone, like behind the scenes.
There's more Real Pod than ever.
More Real Pod than ever. We're going to have notes and chats and all those things that I've just learned that Substack does. And for our lovely paying subscribers who want to contribute to the making of this podcast, you will also get this version of the podcast, the weekly recaps and so on, as an exclusive weekly drop in the paid subscriber category, right?
Wow.
Is that a good
I think it's a good deal.
explanation?
But Jane, can we still get some of the Real Pod for free?
Of course you can, Alex. Of course. We're not monsters. We're not disappearing from the feed completely. You're still going to get your weekly dose of the Real Pod, but it is, as of Thursday, going to be the Real Pod presents Remember When, which is us revisiting our pop culture past, and we're leaning into nostalgia, deep diving into the brilliant and bizarre pop culture moments that have defined our weird little country. So you can still get that. You can keep your addiction alive there. And if you want a bonus, sign up for the extra. So this right here, we're about to recap Traitors week 1. This is the only free version of this you're getting from next week. If you want to keep up with our Traitors recaps, you gotta sign up. Okay.
Okay. I've got it.
We believe in you, Cornies. We believe in you. Go to the
And
Substack.
hopefully you believe in us.
Yeah.
We would love to have you come along on this journey.
But the Remember When is going to be we're really excited about it. There's an amazing treasure trove of New Zealand pop culture history that we're going to be diving into.
We basically had a big long meeting and we realised the present moment, it's okay, but back is better.
Back is so
we
much
wanna
better.
go back. And so we're delving back. We don't know how far back we'll go. We haven't put a limit on it.
No.
We'd also love to hear ideas, right? If people want us
Absolutely.
to cover a particular pop culture moment.
Wayne's
Wayne's been on a wee social media break. He's back. And what good timing. That's all I can say.
Amazing.
If you want to know who Wayne is, join the Real Pod Corner on Facebook. We've also got a Discord where you can do live chats of TV shows and such. I think we need to talk about the Traitors.
Oh, we need to get stuck into it. So this is coming out. You would have just watched episode 1 and 2.
Yeah.
This is, we hope, going to be the big new reality show. It has been massive in the UK. We've all watched the UK version, correct? It outrated Love Island, which is just like
That doesn't
completely,
even make sense.
completely impossible to do as far as I
Bonkers.
was aware. And it's a murder mystery like no other. What do we think?
Okay, I was nervous because I loved the UK one so much that I wouldn't even watch the US or the Australian one because I didn't think they'd be able to do a good enough job. So when I heard that we were doing one, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to watch this and I'm not going to like it. But I love...
Well,
I love the hokey New Zealandness of it. It's the same kind of CTI vibe of like, I didn't think I was going to like celebs on there, but then like dropping the mask a bit, and I think we're going to see them just completely lose their minds.
Well, I think I agree. I mean, like, one of the things that makes the UK version so compelling is how opulent it is. Like it's quite jarring for a reality show to be so just beautifully crafted and the locations to be like dazzling. And then you come to the New Zealand one and they've given it a good old Kiwi try, but just everything about it is just sort of just cutely quite good, but not that good. Like even down to like the little bars of silver. It's silver. If you can't do gold.
You know those are polystyrene. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like he's walking around holding them, they're like floating off into the air.
Also, how the UK one is like, it's shot in the depths of winter, Highland, Scotland, beautiful, moody castle. Let's shoot in the middle of summer in an Airbnb somewhere out west.
Yeah, that we've used for the location of multiple reality shows historically.
Bachelor? I
Yeah.
feel like it's a bachelor pad.
Oh, look, they all look the same to me. But I think what epitomizes what you're saying, Duncan, is the cloaks that they wear. They look like cloaks. They look perfectly good cloaks, but they look like cloaks from Look Sharp. They've just got a bit of a sheen to them, a bit of a cheapness. The draping isn't as heavy as you'd get on the UK version. I think they're sort of representative of the New Zealand version.
And when they're sort of like, they have to do that obviously very staged, kind of looking at a thing in the house and going, oh, that's amazing. And the thing is,
It's like
it's
a
real
horse
budget.
lamp.
Yeah, totally. It's like that is in every sort of chain pub in like the inner west. Like no one's excited about it. And the celebrity, they give it a crack, but you don't buy it at all. But it doesn't detract from it. It just feels like it's ours.
It does. That's so true. I want to know who's the fella in the portrait. Because they keep.
It's Paul Henry.
It doesn't look
But
like
it's so
Paul Henry.
badly photoshopped.
It's like a really tightly cropped zoom in.
It's like
Paul
we
Henry.
did it.
Yeah.
Like it's
a pick monkey.
yeah, it's a
Johnny.
Big Monkey classic done on a phone.
I love that the opening line is something like 15 strangers who've never met come together. It's like
Complete strangers. Half of those celebrities have spent multiple New Years together. There's just no way that Mike and Brooke Howard-Smith have not shared a batch.
also Brooke Howard-Smith straight away is like, Dan's one of my best mates. And then Matt Heath is like, he's on Hodaki, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Or is he on the roll? I don't know.
Hodaki.
He's on Hodaki.
But then Jay Reeve, who's married to Anna Reeve, also, like, these people are
They're
moving in the
basically
same
family.
circles.
Mike Puru and Matt Heath go to the same workplace every single day of their lives. Like these people are closer than we are. Certainly closer than most like fraternal twins. Like this is such a ludicrous assemblage, but I do adore it.
But let's just suspend disbelief for a moment and we'll just buy into the fact that these people have never met before. We've got a bunch of celebs and a sprinkling of normies. And quite predictably, having been on a reality show where there are a bunch of normies and a bunch of celebs, The celebs are all clicking together right away and being like, oh, there's a person I don't recognise from the television or radio.
Eliminate them.
I love the attention to the psychic as well. Just
I know.
early
Oh my
on.
God, the psychic.
What it says about people's just like implicit belief in psychic abilities. Like they're like, can't be doing with that.
No, she
knows.
She's going to win.
She knows.
She was so off the mark.
It's so crazy. Like, what? How? If anyone from Sense and Murder ran for public office, they're romping home. Like
scary.
the level of if you wanted to illustrate that our education system is falling apart at the seams, the fact that everyone on the show seems to think psychics are real is like the most perfect illustration of that.
But also what a missed opportunity, right? Because you need a psychic on the show and you're also having celebrities on the show. Why are you not having Calvin Cruikshank or Sue Nicholson on there?
I'm sure that they must have some. This is my honest opinion, based on watching Sensing Murder, that they would have certain. They profile like people with a particular belief system that would be hard to kind of edit around their sort of public statements
right.
on. I'm being generalising here and making certain heroic assumptions, but we all know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Also, they'd probably be wandering off into the bush to talk to spirits all the time, trying to solve a moida, actual
that's
moida.
Right. There will be. I mean, that's a big property.
Yeah.
$1,500 a night on Airbnb. But there's going to be some bodies there.
Can we just talk about how good it is to see Colin Mathura-Jeffree back on
So
screen?
good.
I mean, he is our like favourite
Godhead, he's our
right?
muse.
Forever.
Yeah.
We've had Colin's cranny, an essential part of the Real Pod.
He's featured on the Real Pod a number of times.
So good. Isn't he just like so magnetic, immediately just giving the quotes that you want. He's bought into the world of it. And his outfits.
He belongs in this world. This is exactly the show for him. He's delivering the zingers. He's just got his very calm, steady voice on and his knowing smile.
And his piercing stare.
Yeah.
I mean, he broke Lauren in the worst way with that question.
That's right.
Which we will get to.
Can we also talk about Paul Henry?
Oh, yes, of
Speaking of
course.
people who are back on our screens, he is actually the most luxury thing about it. Like the way that he talks about $1,000 and sort of he's playing this kind of Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake kind of guy, a sort of a Takapuna Pump House Theatre version of it. And he's playing it exquisitely, and just the way that he's like, oh, look at these cute people getting excited about $1,000 pitiful dollars, which I just sort of throw away in disgust as not being a large enough sum. It's so cool to have him back, and he's just so perfectly cast for that role.
He is definitely perfectly cast for this. He's relishing it, you can tell. Should we talk about the people who, like, there's a corny in there, Dylan Reeve. He's written. He's in the corner. He's written for the spin-off.
I mean, this is 2 reality shows in a row with a spin-off staff
That's
member.
true. I was terrified. Well, 3 if you count Doghouse with Chris Schultz.
Chris Schultz.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was terrified he was going home. That he was going to be first murdered.
Because he understands conspiracies. He can
yeah.
read people. He's very intelligent. And that can be an issue.
It can be.
The
Yeah,
traitors have got to dumb it down.
Well, it's also that the celebrities will be like, I don't want this person who understands the psychics aren't real on the show. You got to go, mate.
And the things he could dredge up in like the deep corners of Reddit about some of these people, who knows?
Oh my God, imagine the dossiers he already has on all of his fellow, all the things they've said under their like kind of burner account. He knows it all.
So we've got, as we've mentioned, we've got Dylan, we've got the psychic whose name I can't quite remember.
Kimberly.
We've got Robbie, the hairdresser.
I love Robbie.
Isn't she adorable? But would you have her do your hair?
Yes, I thought she looked amazing. Would she have those pigtails? The baby spice.
But I was like, your hair's not even been brushed, love.
No, but it's a builder's.
part was
It's
all uneven.
a builder's house is never done. A hairdresser has never got time to touch their own hair.
I'll take that. I mean, I would definitely have her be my hairdresser just for the chats. You
Oh.
know, she looks in the mirror and knows things about people.
I honestly think hairdressers and makeup artists, they know everything about everyone
They do.
in the world. If you need to know something about a celebrity, talk to a TV makeup artist.
Yeah.
If only they were a little cheaper, you know. It's a high price to pay these days to go get your hair done to get some goss.
That's true.
Now, who else have we got? I'm not going to list them all because I haven't got them all written down, but off the top of my head, there was the gamer guy who ran off with the 10K.
Sam
That
Fury.
was so clutch.
So good. Like, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Look, like, I'm not
Guaranteed
good
free
at maths,
money.
but that's quite good, isn't it?
It is quite good.
Quite a good amount of the prize money.
The opportunity cost there, of course, is your time on the telly. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just about the prize money; it's also about like your profile and so on. He's just like, mate, I couldn't dream of making this sort of money.
Yeah.
Let's take it and run, and I don't have to shame myself out on the telly. Win-win.
The risk of it, though, is imagine if you took off to do it and then someone else did it and you were just so slow. Like, that was like, I was thinking about that scenario and I was like, that would be real shameful. 'Cause then you've shown yourself to be, you know?
Buyable for $10,000.
I am buyable for $10,000, by the way.
I was surprised that it does tell you really more about their motivations. It's like, this is a bump, this is screen time, this is a big hit. Less that is more valuable to them than 10,000 in pieces of silver. I'm sorry, why is silver so funny to
I know,
me?
and also the fact they call them silver bars. Like, you feel like if they're gold, they'd be like gold ingots. Like, do you have an ingot for me? But you got one of those silver bars? It's like they're talking about a K-bar.
It is, yeah.
Delicious.
Why they're just so budget?
I
It kills me.
just wanted someone to bite into one. I just want to know what it is.
It is not silver. I think we know that much for certain. But, you know, the other thing is, you remember the UK series, the people who went home on that first day, that very first lineup, came back. So he might just be a genius, take the 10K with a chance of actually being brought back into the game at some point. And consider this, there's some people doing their sums in their heads. Those celebrities are getting a daily rate. You know? So they're going, okay, yeah, I could take that 10K or I could pick up my X many K a day. All I have to do is be here for a couple of days, get some screen time, raise my profile, a few more Twitter followers, and I get 10K, you know, and get to enjoy playing the game a little bit.
It is funny that they're not playing for charity.
I love it.
How
I
do
love
we
it.
address this?
I want there to be this is terrible. I don't think anyone should play for charity. Like, so our celebrities are not well compensated by international standards. They basically probably about median wage, is my working assumption. Don't make them do stuff for charity. Like, they're allowed to just keep it.
Are you saying we should start a GoFundMe for Matt Heath?
Well, maybe not Matt
radio
Heath.
host?
He's I have some idea of what Matt Heath's on, and I think it's quite good. But a bunch of the other ones, I'm like, give them the money.
Yeah, I think all of these could find something useful to do with the money that isn't just like throw it in their big pile of money. You know?
I mean,
It does speak to the shitness of New Zealand, you know, in a way.
yeah.
That's absolutely charming. There was a great profile of Kings, actually. Did you read the Greive profile? And it was all about, you know, his massive explosion onto the scene in 2017 or 2016. But then that doesn't always pay for the rest of your life.
No, and it's the classic lotto winner spending all their money story. You know?
Well, it's also like, what is the prize for a win? The maximum possible prize. It's $70,000. So it's approximately half of a house deposit. You know, like it's a nice sum of money, but in a proper country, that's $1 million or $500,000. 70,000. It's also just like, it's not 75,000. It's not 100,000. It's a real, like, that is an accountant just saying, just keep shaking their head until the Excel spreadsheet finally makes sense for the production.
Yeah, it is 200, right? Overseas, I think the Australian one was 200K.
Right.
The UK
70.
one might have been.
It feels like
Seventy
they're doing it
bars of
based on our
silver.
population. You know, no population. The percentage of population difference is how much prize money you get.
One other question. Where do they stay?
This is something I thought. 'Cause,
I think
you
it's
see
at
them all-
home in bed.
You see them all walking out, and then I think they go around the back and climb back through the bathroom window, and they all sleep in that lounge.
I think it's at home.
The show necessitates them not all staying in the same accommodation. Like, for it to be genuine, they need to not be able to talk to each other after the moment they leave there. You know, I'm surprised at how strict they were on Treasure Island at making things as real and like no phones, no access to the outside world, keeping people from each other as they did. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, and I think they've kept them apart.
It sounds like the way Justine Smith talked about her first night, that they were very much shut in a room and she had nothing, no contact. I mean, obviously no phones. I mean, you can see how you would go crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Within 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just crying.
Just totally.
Well, especially with as much booze as they're being fed. Like, did you note the total consumption for the first day? Like, let's assume that the drinks are what they present as. There was champagne, red and white wine, martinis.
And what was that green? Was that absinthe?
I'm assuming that was chartreuse or absinthe. Both of those are around 75%. And, And I think then they went back to champagne later on. I was like, that is a fucking boatload of some very strong booze. Like, is there, like, and it made me wonder, like, is there a legal limit for someone to be able to actively consent to being on TV? Like, it was, if, again, like, you can, like, make a fake martini or red wine or whatever, but if it was what it looked like, holy shit, they were putting some away.
Well, Love Island famously had to remove the alcohol, and The Bachelor in the US after some,
That's right.
just alcohol-infused bad stuff. They've had to kind of make it very clear that they're drinking, like, apple juice, and they get their, like, one glass of bubbles a day kind of thing.
They say alcohol-free Prosecco.
I know, over and over.
I also noticed...
Not so at the lodge. Not so.
At the lodge. Well, even when they walk to it's like... I'm sure there's, like, a second guy in Espina book in this. Like, when they walk down to the banishment room, they walk past a giant wall of wine bottles.
It's
like,
a cellar.
It's just a booze hag house. But then at the other end, what I found charming as well is there's been a few times where the celebrities are walking around just with takeaway coffee cups.
Okay, I need to talk about this.
I know, sustainability out
It
there.
looks so shit.
Well, do you know what do you know who the celebrity was who had the takeaway coffee cup?
Mike Puru.
It was Mike Puru.
And Colin has one at the very start.
Okay, I didn't notice Collins, but I noticed Mike, and it was on the second day, so we're well into production then. He's not brought it just from, he's not just brought it as he turned up for his cool time for the first time. But who was he talking with? He was talking with Dan, the poker player, who had like a beautiful crystal whiskey glass type thing going on. And I'm like, is Mike falling into the same trap again, where he's like, he doesn't know if he's supposed to be taking from the crew unit or the contestant unit, and he's accidentally gone and got his crew takeaway coffee.
I forgot every time. I forget about that. I go for months at a time forgetting about the Mike Puru brought bachelor lunch.
I don't go a day not thinking about it. I'm so happy to see Mike there. Like, it's just,
isn't it good?
He's so adorable.
And he's onto it too. He's seeing things that other people are not seeing.
To be fair, like, this has the potential to fall apart this season. Like, they instantly tagged Lauren. Like, this completely, like, she could not have screamed it louder. And if I'm any kind of I'm eliminating a poker player just for any kind of a reason.
Course.
So then it's just going to be Matt Heath, who also seems to be like screaming that he's a traitor.
I agree.
By virtue of like doing a joke pick to save his fellow traitors.
Whenever they're talking about the traitors and Matt Heath is in the conversation, he is doing Jim Halpert straight to camera, Cheshire Cat like grin. I'm like, he's like emanating it.
So what happens if the first 3 rounds they just eliminate the traitors? Is that then just a nice time?
They'll convince them to they'll convince them to seduce.
It'll be such a New Zealand thing for the faithful to just pick the first 3, just eliminate the 3 traitors, and then just sort of sit around, and we have this the traitors becomes this amazing multi-decade franchise, and there's this curiosity on the Wikipedia page about New Zealand only had 1 season. It lasted 3 episodes, and they were never allowed to. But like there was a sort of an international treaty saying that country is too stupid for traders.
Maybe they could do that thing like when you're in like a Dunedin flat where you do a lock-in, and they just have to finish all the booze in the house, and just whoever's left wins.
It becomes
a radio promo.
Yeah.
Like, how long can you live on the billboard?
Matt Heath will romp home again.
Hey, listen, on Matt Heath, how is he 50? When that shot up on the graphics, it makes sense when I think about my age and how, but that just rocked me to my core.
Wear a big cap.
But there's a whole bunch of like young youth brand celebrities, like Brooke Howard-Smith and Mike Puru amongst them, who are suddenly 50, and it's like, oh shit. It feels like the fact they had the age was like this. You're now moving into a new demographic. You're on the grown-up shows.
That was something I wondered. Like, is there anyone under 30 on the show? I feel
Lauren,
like they could have got.
And she gone.
They're like, none of that.
How old's Chris? She seems young. She tracks
she's
young.
a
She's like
social media
late
influencer.
20s, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt they could have done with maybe, a couple more sort of, I don't know, influencer types
This
or
is a
something.
TV show. They know their demographic.
Also,
This is true.
we have to just use the same people that we've used before again and again and again. It's just how our ecosystem works.
I wonder if, like, just thinking about the ratio of celebrities to normals, maybe that's just how the general population, like maybe there are more celebrities
I
than
think there
normals
are.
now. Like if there's the latest Stats NZ survey has like a subcategory of what is our current ratio, and it's we've got over 50%. This is a real, we're depopulating with normals. Soon they'll just be bred out of existence. So I mean, it's just something to consider.
Also, how there's some of them who are like as Sam Smith, where does he fall? He's sort of celebrity adjacent. Dylan Reeve is kind of celebrity adjacent.
Same with
proximity to Faria.
Jane Yee.
Well, I wasn't actually on the show, but same with Dan. You know, the poker player is like very noted in
Dan
his
Fury.
circles.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all, and Robbie is 100% a celebrity after this.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Sergeant and Mr. Smith, you're gonna love this house.
Bunk beds in a closet?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least that was the plan. Except now the Dastardly Desk Clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want your connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Should we talk a little bit about how the show goes? So they come on in, they all get settled in. Paul comes and does his thing with his little cane and his little hat.
Little hat. How many hats do you think he's got in his trailer? Because I've counted at least like 4 different ones.
More than
so
Cassie
far.
Roma, which is saying a lot.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's true.
And he basically tells them how the game's going to go and that first things first, we need to pick our traitors, interviews everyone, they sit around a room, yada, yada, yada. He picks Lauren, he picks Dan the poker player, he picks Matt Heath. I'm disappointed. I wanted more normies in there. Or a normie.
I wanted... who's Darth Vader?
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. I wanted her in there.
Yeah, same. I also sorry not to harp on the first. They could all be picked at first. They just seem real pickable.
Yeah, I reckon too.
You know, and I think if they'd had a sort of a mix of a few more sort of blend into the background types, I think it would have just changed the feel of it. But yeah, I mean, look, Dan and Matt Heath, it feels bad to harp on Lauren, but my God, has anyone ever just exploded as their opportunity on a show like she did this? Like she just kind of melted as the day went on. I think it was Colin. I swear to God. So Colin asked her, like, what was it? Basically, are you the traitor?
He said, who are you going to murder tonight?
Yeah,
that's right. It was incredible, and with the Colin eyes. No one can survive. That's unsurvivable.
Yeah.
And she did not survive.
She was just like, why would I do that?
Why would I do that? It's such a funny.
Also, this weird thing where she's like, I'm a dancer. I've been lying my whole life. I was like, have you? What have you done, Lauren?
Well, yeah.
I also love how Robbie, who's not a traitor, is talking about how we knocked someone off. It's good
It was amazing.
And didn't get eliminated.
Incredible. But it's such a tell, like those little fumbles can absolutely destroy you. Remember in the UK one, I think the first person to go home was someone who just didn't cheers.
Yeah.
At the first cheers, was too slow to cheers. And they were like,
you're out.
As if that's what a traitor would do. Like, it's so funny.
What else happened? I don't know where one episode started and one episode ended.
I have a theory
over that.
I have a theory about why it could be good if they get all the traitors out immediately, because they've already like bonded so much. They had that big hoorah, like weird kind of like tribal moment.
They had a lot of booze by
If they keep getting rid of the traitors and they become really tight as faithfuls, but then some of them will have to turn.
Yeah.
And then that will be like even more tense.
Yes.
You know, that they would have had this bonding moment and now they know. Like, that's why I feel like they might be saving Justine Smith. Because I thought, she obviously wanted it so badly and they didn't choose her for some reason. But maybe it's because they know she'll be better later on as like a ring-in, maybe?
I think Colin would be an obvious traitor, so I wouldn't pick him as a producer-wise. I honestly think Mike Puru would be a genius move.
Yeah, no one's going to suspect innocent Mike.
with
I mean,
his coffee cup.
he covered up himself, nearly crapping on the news.
He is prepared to go to great lengths. We'll put it that way. He will do anything for the job, you know?
Yeah, there's never been a more dedicated soldier of the old media entertainment world than Mike Puru.
We get to the challenges. Look, I feel a little bit about the challenges in Traitors like you do with the charity challenges in CTI. The first one, they have to run around and look for some coins or something.
In the UK one, don't they have to like traverse a loch and light up a giant wicker man? This like beautiful, amazing scene. And this one, Paul Henry's like, I've hidden some coins around the lounge. Find them.
The amount of like production prep time on that is about 30 seconds. There was also the Cinco to the 7 at the game of pool challenge, which the traders were like so fiending for their $1,000. They're just like, yeah, can I just join in your pool? Let's make it a game of threes. And Lauren's like,
game of threes.
Fuck, on like an A3 size like pool table. It's just the most ridiculous scenario.
It's like one of those joke ones you play on the toilet.
I know.
And also at this point, the traders don't know who each other are. But there's a very big process of elimination that goes on here. Anyone who didn't pick up a pool stick and aim at a ball is not a trader.
But then, like, Sweet Kings is in there, you know?
I know.
That's crack.
And I guess ultimately they're about to find out, so it doesn't make a difference one way or the other. And they didn't know that their challenge was going to be the same as the other traders.
Did the traders not know?
Not at the pool.
At
Not at the
point,
pool
they didn't know.
table. They didn't.
Aye.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I will say at this point in the mixer pool table thing was when I got a big red flag where I realised it doesn't seem like they have any hidden cameras in this show. It seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, someone from production will be listening, but it seems like it's like a roaming crew. And I think in the UK one, it's shot more like Love Island style, right? Where you've got just heaps of cameras hidden everywhere. So things can feel more sneaky and more treacherous. And I'm worried about what having like a travelling crew around that house is going to mean for
maybe that's why you have
chats.
celebrities on, is that they just know that they're shooting something here. The thing is, they shoot so much reality at their house. Maybe they can afford to rig it and amortize it across making every single reality show at the same house.
True.
But you can tell by the
Think
camera
about.
work, as you say, that it's off the shoulder, or you know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think you're right. In Treasure, I hate Heartback's my only experience. On Treasure Island, it was always very obvious when there was a conversation happening and the cameras like ran over to catch it. But the difference here is that you will get conversations with the faithfuls as well that are of interest, and you'll get, because they don't know who, you know, they just assume the person that they're talking to is also a faithful. So it's still going to cast shadow of doubt on pretty much every conversation is of interest.
That's true.
I don't know. We just have to, we can't change it.
We can't change it.
It is what it is. Can we talk about the meeting and the thing? I feel like they knew before they saw each other. It didn't feel like was nowhere near as much as the Traitors when they were revealed to each other. It was nowhere near as much of a shock, surprise, giggles as the UK one, which was adorable when they did the really big kind of like dark walking up with their lamps and then whipped off their cloaks, and they just like cracked up and were like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And we're kind of childishly giggly about it. Whereas I feel like Matt and Dan really just faked that. They're kind of like, oh, it's you.
And when Lauren walks in, they don't even put their hoods back on. They're just like, put their heads down. Like, I can still see you, Matt. It's not, if you shut your eyes, people can still see you.
That's why, again, it feels sort of joyfully budget. Like the paper coffee cup that you referred to earlier, the fact that Lauren's name is spelled 18 different ways. Like, no one from production is correcting the spelling of the slates and just doing a quick retake for the reveal there. You know, and again, like the fact that he just keeps his foot on. It's like forgetting the final rose on The Bachelor. You know, we are not appropriately staffing these things.
Also, they're not using people's surnames. Like, they're trying to trick us all into like not fully knowing who these people are. And, you know, it's just like, just Lauren, just Brody, just, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to make it
Brody.
as if they're all on the same level playing field.
Brody would be a fun trader.
Can we talk a little bit about Paul Henry's lexicon? Gather round, Lieblings.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm into that.
Chickadees.
I'm into it.
It's good. I feel like at the start of the episode, he almost comes out a bit too mean. And then he kind of comes into this gleeful sort of like Wonka-esque type character.
Oh my God, it's so Wonka.
Yeah. And it's kind of like gleeful. I just love it. I don't know. I hate to say it. I think he's really good.
He's incredible. I mean, it's a very kind of sui generis, like Paul. No one's given him notes. He's just like, I'm just going to sort of vibe out this kind of weird 1920s serial killing snake oil salesman fucking top hat thing. And it works. And it's just, he's entertaining himself, and it's very entertaining for us.
You need someone who has the sort of arrogance to be able to play that role and not kind of feel any sense of shame or anything, you know, just like to completely own it and relish in it. And and you do kind of want to be a little bit like scared of that person too.
But Paul Henry is like almost like a globally interesting celebrity host, and that he's independently wealthy to the point where he only does things for fun. He can't be fired. There is no career consequence that has any meaning to him. He's like Simon Cowell almost. Like if he's doing it, it's for non-financial reasons, and he has no like relationship with his career. That's weird, and that's kind of manifests in his performance. Like it's very like, well, I'm going to do Paul Henry stuff, and I will not be getting any new. You can't give me any notes. This is just what I'm doing here. That is the deal. And they just have to say yes or no.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I think you can tell even when, I don't know if they knew he was the host or not, but it genuinely seemed like he was a surprise to a lot of the celebrities when he first walked out with his cane.
He's a celebrity amongst celebrities.
He's a celebrity to celebrities. And there's not many people we've got in New Zealand like that.
I'll tell you who's not blown away or intimidated by his celebrity, and that's Robbie. When it came to the confessions, the confessions challenge, and she goes into the confessions booth and he's like, do you have anything to confess? And she says, oh, we don't have time for that rubbish. What's the verse?
She's so
She's
good.
incredible, yeah. We got a real one here.
When she's like, I'm a single mum with 4 kids. I've been lying my whole life. She's awesome. What a find.
Like, she's great. She's great. That challenge, the funeral challenge, was funny. Easy. Like, disturbingly easy. I did love the turn of the heads. I want to know who those people were. Where did they get them? Because I'm like...
Stars extras.
I don't... Star?
With a Z. True.
Star from the Lodge?
Simon Day, Explore. I don't know. Deep cat for 3 people.
Really deep.
True, though.
I hope he's still listening. There was a weird thing, actually. Paul Henry said a real weird thing. So they're at this fake funeral for Kimberly, and there's all these people in gold masks, and Paul Henry's like, this is like many of my fantasies coming true at once. And I was like, what fantasies? What did you just say?
Yeah,
what
don't
does that
ask.
actually mean?
Don't ask the question because you don't want to hear the answer. That was I don't know, just too easy. Just to like find something about a snake in the Bible verse. Find someone who's got some sort of snake on their clothing. I recall in the UK one it being a little bit more cryptic, like they had to kind of decode what the verse meant.
Yeah, they came up with the actual riddles and stuff.
Again, New Zealand, not the brightest.
You're like, who's got a Bible? We forgot to do a thing. But it still has that, like, I don't know if you have this. Well, like, I have like a physical, I get chills, full body chills often watching the Traitors.
Yeah.
The spookiness, the masks, the hoods, like there's just the world of it, I think is powerful.
When Paul Henry stood up at the front of that church and was like, welcome, neighbourings, or whatever it was he said, and all their heads turned in
Full 180.
Full 180, synchronised. That was my chill moment. I was like, that's good. Well done. Well choreographed.
Yeah.
And there's something about that round table when they have to start attacking each other, or just attacking Lauren, as the case may be. That gladiatorial sort of mind fuck format is very intense. There's no way around it.
I'm really interested to see when they send a faithful home and get upset about it. That's always like really rough, you know, like it's victorious if you send a traitor home. Never seen it happen, you know, in the first week. But it's great when they've like gotten really close to people and then they start second guessing someone, send them home and they're like, well, I was a faithful. And they all just like fall into a puddle of tears. Can't wait.
It feels like such a judgment on your character if you're sent home as a faithful.
That's do we need to talk about Lauren? Full disclosure, fell asleep during the banishment.
Oh, no.
Woke up just as everyone was clapping. Like, we got her. And I was like, okay, I think I know what's happened here. But Sam Smith made a big call, right? Because Lauren's one of his friends.
Yeah, she used to drop him home after Dancing with the Stars. I mean, Sam Smith very known in the industry as like the warm-up guy for every show. Lovely, hilarious guy.
Written a children's book too.
And now backstabber.
Yeah.
And I actually think, like, I was nervous about the fact that over half the cast have close relationships with each other. But maybe it makes it more interesting because this is New Zealand. We're very polite. These people will probably have to collab on like a, collagen brand deal later in their
Later in the day.
Actually kind of hurting some of these relationships could be really tense.
Well, you could see Lauren getting visibly upset, even though she was a traitor and had basically been carrying around and saying, I'm a traitor for most of the day, because these were like friends who were outing her. And that to give Dan credit, like he sort of had to do it with hindsight. And again, Matt Heath.
Sam,
sorry. When he, Dan, the poker player, right?
Oh, right, yeah, I mean, I was asleep.
When Dan was like,
asleep.
I'm going to knife my fellow traitor because I can see which way the wind's blowing, you could see Lauren just crushed by it. But she also gave him this like look like, but you know I am a traitor. It's like, yeah, okay. Cool.
And
so now you are
nice.
any kind of vaguely kind of attentive observer knows exactly who the traitors are at this point.
Yeah. Confirmed her status, confirmed his status.
And then Matt Heath is just like, me too.
Imagine if she just stood up at the end and was like, yeah, I'm a traitor, and so's that person. Like, just ruined the game.
Yeah, like the Joker just.
I do like it. That happened in the UK one sometimes. They would just throw out like a curveball at the last minute.
Kieran in the UK one, the guy who was seduced, and he came and he made it quite close to the end, and then he got knifed, and he put out some clues in his banishment.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. I feel like we are going to get that level of stuff.
Absolutely.
Next week it looks like there's already Darth Vander's crying. It's going to be. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you take note of the handwriting during the banishment? Because there were some interesting tales there.
I was asleep again.
Of course, you saw nothing. When Lauren wrote Dylan, it was beautiful. It was like calligraphy.
Oh, we won't see that again.
Matt Heath, when he wrote Colin, Comic Sans. Like, literally a beautiful recreation of Comic Sans.
Kings looked like he wrote his with like the sort of gnarly nub end of a piece of chalk. It was just a sort of a smudge.
It's great. It feels like that's another little Easter egg for everyone to be able to like read into the people's personalities based on, because it makes sense that a beautiful, graceful dancer would have beautiful, graceful handwriting.
Yeah, that was her last chance to kind of stay in it. But she had already, her face said it all
I know.
on that
my
table.
God.
I know. Shocker. And that's it. That's it for week 1 of The Traitors.
So if you enjoyed this
and you want to hear more, which you most definitely do. In fact, anyone who wants extra Real Pod content should be signing up to our Substack, because there will be free stuff for everyone. But if you want this particular pod, you are going to have to pay for it. Just, less than a cup of coffee a week kind of thing, You don't need that caffeine. You need this.
You don't need that big can of C4. You don't need to smash that before you do anything. You can just have a nice Real Pod. That will give you natural endorphins.
Yeah, and this is we know our diehard fans need this injection of Real Pod every week. So do make sure you go check out the Substack, see what it's all about. It's therealpod.substack.com. I was about to say like an email address.
I'm kind of amazed that you did it. I was waiting for it. I was like, oh no, she's doing it right.
I still don't know what Substack is, so you could have done that and that would have been fine.
Also, don't forget, Thursday is going to be the premiere of The Real Pod Presents Remember When. And we've got a really big pop culture moment to look back on, so make sure you join us for it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to T.I. here for recording. And we'll see you on the Substack next week.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spin-Off. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spin-Off member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate. The Spin-Off Podcast Network.